Here's how you turn a formerly wallpapered wall using this inspiration into a mountain feature wall. First step was to remove the existing wallpaper, sand it down as smooth as possible, and then we did 2 coats of mud on the wall and sanded it down to a level 1 finish. Then we applied some drywall primer to the surface, and I did 2 coats of drywall primer. Fun, fun, fun. Next step was to do a very rough sketch just to get some of the scaling of the placement of the feature wall. Then using my sketch as a template, I drew it out on the wall in pencil. Materials I used were 1 inch by 1 inch by 4 foot pieces of lumber. Just use a miter to cut the ends down. Cleaned up the cut edges with a sanding block. And since the wood was so light and I couldn't really nail it into the wall, I just used Loctite PL3 construction adhesive because it's super strong, put them on the wall, and used blue tape to hold it in place while it dried overnight. Then where I wanted the peaks of the mountains to go, I just freehand marked with a pencil and then made 45-degree angle cuts in the wood. And then I put the Loctite and just kind of continued to line everything up together. And I did leave a small gap on the far left side against the trim because that is where the LED strip light was going to run. And now we wait for it to dry. One part of the process I did forget to film was that I painted the area immediately above the mountain peaks an off-white color that matches the rest of the walls. And then I used green frog tape to mark off the mountain peaks. Next, I used a bright white paint to paint the area above the frog tape to create a snow-capped mountain effect. Now for the final part of the painting process. I used a brush to do the lower parts of the mountains, but then it became very tedious and I had to use a sponge so that I could cut in my lines very clean and not overlap the areas in white where I had taped them off previously. Almost there. Once it was dry, I took the LED strip light and it's self-adhesive on the bottom, so I ran it from right to left, atop the peaks, then down the left side of the trim, and then I plugged it in on the bottom. At this point, I wrapped up the rest of the finishes, like the face plates, the vent cover, and then nailing and caulking in the baseboards. I also used a raceway along the top of the baseboards to cover the LED strip lights down there just to give it a more clean look. And here it is, the remote operated LED mountain feature wall. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.